Were you going to talk a little bit about that pollinator habitat?
Yes, that is last year, in the last fiscal year, for us, I can talk about a year. In fiscal year 2014, USDA started an initiative to emphasize assisting pollinators. And the reason for that was that there's some interesting information that 1 out of every 3 bites of food in the United States is dependent upon pollinators for its production. And there's a $15 billion ecological service that the pollinators themselves provide.
Wow, that's a chunk of money.
Country. That is a lot of money. Managed honeybees are extremely important to agriculture in the United States. So as part of this thing, there was a pilot honeybee effort that was begun in 5 states. Minnesota is one of them, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Dakota, and South Dakota. And so we spent approximately $3.2 million across these 5 states in an effort to improve the habitat for pollinators. We tend to be an area of the country where we produce a significant amount of the honeybees that are used for agriculture across the country. They tend to overwinter here. So what's important for the pollinators in these 5 states, these north central states, is the late fall habitat, so they can store up and get their hives all ready to hunker down for winter, and then right away in the spring, there's an opportunity for them to get started, get things rolling again. And the habitat in our 5 states is extremely critical to agriculture across the country. And if I remember right, I saw something about that approximately 80% of the bees that are used for agriculture in California come from here.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yep.
Which is an unbelievably high number. And part of and we've been losing bee colonies. There's been a significant amount of losses of, and I don't have in front of me some of the diseases are saying, but there's been bee colonies that are being wiped out.
The colony collapse disorder.
There you go. And so the numbers of bees, just simply managed honeybee colonies, have been declining over the years.
And in order to provide the best habitat for bees, you want something like Dave was saying, you want something that will flower early in the spring, late spring, early summer, late summer, early fall, throughout. So what there is there's a plant species mix that they put out on the field, and then you don't disturb it and allow these plants to flower. And, when you look across the landscape, you see a lot of corn and soybeans, and it's just there isn't as much habitat out there as there was 65 years ago when we were established. So that's what this whole initiative is trying to do. Plus, there's some discussion about the pesticide. I can't pronounce the name, a neonicotinoid or something like that,
right.
That they use in a lot of the agronomic crops that may impact the bee colonies. So
that is being studied in great detail right now, so we can learn some more about that.
And right now in Europe, they've actually regulated that compound where you cannot use that for crop production in Europe. And we're looking at, I know the Minnesota Department of Ag just had an article this week in the Star Tribune, and they're looking at that here in Minnesota, also maybe limiting the use of that particular pesticide in Minnesota. So we'll have to see how this plays out, but that's why USDA recognizes the importance of this, and Stearns County has an opportunity to capture some of these dollars with our farmers, and you can get these special dollars through the EQIP program, right?
And so for those who are interested, by all means contact our office, and we'll work with you on a conservation plan and work up with what all the eligibilities are and if it qualifies and whatnot, and we'll see what we can work out.
So Stearns County is a good area for. I mean, is it
absolutely
and
it's greater than just managed honeybees. Of course, the managed honeybee hives are very big for agriculture across the country, but it's also a big deal just for native pollinators, and we've seen reductions across the board in native pollinators across the country as well. So it's got a greater impact than just on the bees that are being managed specifically for agriculture.
So for those who want to participate, does that mean they have to plant I don't mean to simplify things, plant a field of flowers near a bee, some kind of a bee harvesting
it could
company?
Be something simple. It doesn't even have to be a very large planting to have a significant impact, a positive impact for the beehives in the area.
So it's not like you said earlier. It's not a one size fits all. It's a guideline per person who wants to participate.
That's right. But it has an extremely big impact on agriculture across the country. And like we said earlier, a significant number of the managed bees that are taken to almond groves in California, for instance, orange groves in Florida, are coming from the upper Midwest. We are the habitat for these bees as a base. They start here.
And I wanted to mention, too, is USDA isn't the only entity that's interested in this. Private industry is very interested in this also. General Mills, a Fortune 500 company located right here in Minnesota, is working with us through our Conservation Marketplace Midwest, a nonprofit to bring buyers and sellers of ecosystem services together. And they provided $50,000 to enhance the CRP plantings out there, the Conservation Reserve Program. And what we're finding out is there's a fair amount of people that are willing to buy that more expensive seed, because that's one thing. These native wildflowers are not cheap, because that seed is very expensive, and there's not a huge supply of it, and the quantity is limited, at least right now. As we get more and more of these plantings out there, we'll have more and more of these wildflowers available, and the price will decrease over time. And hopefully it'll be much easier for a landowner like myself. I've got a few acres in Sherburne County, and I could get some good pollinator habitat established myself. So it's a big concern, and the Star Tribune had a big article in their newspaper, in the Sunday paper this summer, about the whole pollinator habitat and the honeybee collapse disorder and the factors that are impacting the honeybee population.
Well, how do you know, as far as once you plant these wildflowers, how do you know it's going to create a positive impact? I mean, is there going to be testing done as far as, well, look at all the honeybees there now? Or
I think the effort that we'll be doing here, the plantings that will be eligible need to be within a certain area, and usually it's a mile or so, of where hives are being kept. So, for instance, if the feedback on that would be simply from a beekeeper, did you lose 30% of your bees this winter?
How many beekeepers are in the county?
I know
their
one.
Stats?
Yeah, I think we have more. We don't have the information on how many we have. We do have beekeepers here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But over time, the feedback from those beekeepers will be important. I mean, how much loss are you getting over a winter when they've been saying that since 2006 they're losing 30% every winter?
So beekeepers should contact you guys, too.
Well, they could certainly do that, and then they could be working with the landowners that they are working with to house their hives. That is certainly one way to get things rolling. And
a lot of the beekeepers out there already have identified landowners that have really good habitat, and that's where their beehives are being put. So it might not be – there's a little bit of a disconnect there, too. Maybe having a better location map of where the beehives are within the county or the state or the Midwest, so that we can do a better job of coordinating landowner contact. If we're going to promote this program, we got to do KASM radio, and then do we need to do more, do a direct mailing to landowners within the beehives. So there's just a lot of work that we could be doing locally, maybe to enhance our effort too. Right. But one of the first things we wanted to do is get on KASM radio and talk about it.
Get the conversation.
Get the conversation.
You're doing well so far.
Get the buzz started.
The buzz. I got it. Yeah. I got tick-tock. It's like an 8-second joke.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I got it.
Meow.
Those were the buzzwords, right?
Okay.
All right. Well,
let's be more. Let's be more.
Wow.
Okay. Let's quit now. Come on.
I just see Belushi in a bee suit right now.
Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, let me just give you the dates again of that cover crop field day. I know a lot of farmers are done with harvest now, done with tillage, and a lot of their field operations are done. They're getting ready for deer hunting. This is just a great opportunity to take a look at some cover crops and do things on your farm. See how you can incorporate cover crops on your operation to enhance the soil health of your farm. Okay, that's going to be November 4th. Well, what day of the week is that?
That's a Tuesday.
Tuesday, November 4th.
Next Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah, so next Tuesday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Dan and Crystal Live Farm. That's Highway 23, 4 miles west of Richmond, a mile east of Roscoe, right on Highway 23. We'll have a sign popped up there right on 23, so keep an eye open for that, and we hope to see you there.
There'll be some smiling faces there, waving you in.
Yes.
Very good. Dave Rose, Dennis Fuchs, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Brad.
It is a minute past 10 o'clock. KASM ready. We've got news coming up.